All right. Hi, everybody. It's been a while. It is June 9th. Yeah, we're into June. This year is going crazy. This is Anthony Stewart, Food for Thought, and we are trying to find some answers, seeking out truth, um, and questioning everything they've ever said. And with health and wellness and nutrition in mind. And speaking from an anecdotal N of one, my experiment on myself, and sharing with you my results and my thoughts and opinions on what's going on today in the world. And I wanted to talk about today why most diets fail and my experience with the way I'm eating now. I've been pretty much animal based. I would argue at times 100% carnivore aside, well, 99% carnivore aside from maybe coffee and the odd fermented vegetable. For the most part, I have been eating this way for over a year now, and I have noticed lots of changes. And first and foremost, I think, is the physical changes. I believe my physical shape is the best I've ever been in my life, and it has been very much a progression since I started this way. I've been eating sort of a fat adapted sort of keto, low carb approach for about 3 years now, and then ultra like into the carnivore space last May when I first started it for 30 days. And to be honest with you, I haven't looked back, and it's been quite amazing, eye-opening experience, and that has led me to more questions and seeking, trying to weed through the politics, the ideologies, and the religion of nutrition science, which is basically very flawed and very confusing. And I'm starting to realize why. And you have to what what I've done, and I think what I've done is you can't look at one thing. You have to look at a general broad scope, and I am studying to be a nutritionist. Although I've been working crazy hours lately, so that's why I probably haven't been making videos because I've been working so much. But this is a chance to kind of like the 1 year plus anniversary of me being animal based, and to go through some of the changes and some of the things that I've seen. And first and foremost, we've been saying on this channel, whole food. I mean, natural food. And that's very argument. Like, you can argue that, what that is. But I think if you eliminate hyperpalatable processed food for the most part, you're going to be better off. Now, when you say that, whole natural food, then you have to look at what comes with it. And yes, there are there is nutrition in plants. That's obvious, but it's what the context and what they may be blocking, or maybe doing, or damaging even your specific situation. Now, I firmly believe in the microbiome and how we are symbiotic with these microbes, and I believe that there is a lot of weight there. But it also comes down to your gut health, and what is gut health. But first, you need the foundations. You need the collagen. You need the protein. You need to build tissue. You need to have your body working for you in these ways, and it comes down to lean tissue, bone density, muscle mass. And when you are building muscle, that doesn't mean hours in the gym, but your body has to be able to have the right building blocks to achieve lean muscle. And once you get lean muscle, it works for your metabolism. Your metabolism will speed up. Your muscle requires more energy, and that will be in your favor. And I do believe there is a Dr. Gabrielle Lyon. She's been studying the effects of protein, and she believes in muscle-centric, a paradigm that's we've been looking at things the wrong way. You know, you look at fat loss and losing fat, losing weight. You should be gaining muscle, and that doesn't mean heavy bench pressing and gyms for 4 hours a day, training like a bodybuilder. It just means being aware of the building blocks you are putting into your body to be able to increase your lean muscle mass, your bone density, and support your tissues and your regeneration, which all falls down to protein. And protein is the one topic that's in this health and nutrition and wellness space that's very, there's a lot of space in the spectrum where some people think that too much protein is going to shorten your life, and then there's the other side of things where if you want to be putting on size and mass, you need to be overdoing protein, but that's going to take away from your life expectancy, which is it's kind of what we've done in this. Well, what I'm trying to do on this channel is I want you to challenge me. Think for yourself. I want you to take what I'm saying maybe and if you disagree, maybe start researching for yourself, because this is basic common sense. I mean, when we look at the way we've been eating, and as a population, they've been telling us to do certain things. For the most part, people do it. We've cut back red meat. We've cut back saturated fat. We've increased our consumption of heart healthy grains. And we've increased our consumption of these seed vegetable oils, using them instead of proper animal fat. And look what's happening. You just have to look around. People are not well, and it's increasing. Every single disease, not to mention new diseases, non-communicable diseases that are arguably genetic, are increasing. Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, type 2 diabetes is going crazy, let alone pre-diabetic and obesity, specifically in children. These are diseases of adulthood. And if you just look at that, like just look at one thing, type 2 diabetes, it's a lifestyle disease. It might be prevalent in your family, but how to get to that point is very much lifestyle. And a while ago there was like, once you have diabetes, you're on a certain course where you're being medicated and there's no hope. People are reversing their diabetes quickly, fast. They're getting off diabetes medication, insulin, metformin, very quickly when they just think about what diabetes is. And if you look at what type 2 diabetes is, your body is intolerant of the amount of sugar, glucose, that you're dealing with. Over time, it leads to metabolic dysfunction. The good news is you can reverse it. Even if a doctor tells you it's irreversible, thousands, maybe even millions of people now are reversing their diabetes following a low carbohydrate, fat prevalent diet. And for instance, if something is impossible, not one person would ever be able to do it. And they're doing it all the time now, coming off their meds fast. And I don't know, what your situation is, or, but if we all feel stuff, we all feel anxious, we all feel pain and aches and soreness, and what if it's diet related? We're so quick to jump on the medication train that we don't think about what actually is causing these problems. And if my belief is it is 100% based on the nutrients or the poisons and toxins that you're giving your body. if you want to feel great every day, you have to look at what your body is made of and what you're making your body with. Now, they're reversing heart disease, which was said to be impossible, even by cardiologists in the low carb space. It's possible because people are doing it. It takes one person. Now, when you're putting things in your body without this awareness of what it's doing to you, it doesn't happen right away, and it happens over time. And if you can get sicker over time, you can heal over time. And now I'm encouraging you to switch that thought process. Maybe what you're eating now is not good for you in the long term. Your body quite handles things and handles adversity and is able to adapt quite often. Maybe these diseases are our bodies showing us that there's something wrong. And, how you're built might dictate the outcome of the problem. So everybody's different. Everybody's indication might be, could be eczema, could be diabetes. It could be, the inability to handle stress. Is it possible, what I'm asking, that it's what you're eating? Now, we all go on diets to try and lose weight. But maybe we shouldn't be going on diets. We should be changing the way you eat. And what I want you to do is think about what you're putting in your mouth. We have lost the ability to go through this life with intuition. And all these hyperpalatable processed foods, I think, are stripping away our natural ability to feel the difference. We're getting numb. And I really don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to start thinking. Think about the way you feel, how you're doing in your life, and maybe you can start making little changes that will start to make you a little bit more aware. And it's not about every intervention that seems to work or benefit costs nothing. You just got to change the way you look at food. What is food? Is food pleasure? Is food emotional support? Is food survival? Is food the foundation and the building blocks of your body, your emotional being, and your state of mind right now? And if that is a possible, if you said yes, it could be, well, then we got to think about what we're eating. And then we got to look into some science and look into biology, look at physiology, what makes sense. And when you're fighting yourself, it's a hard nut to crack. It's very hard to take that into consideration. And what I've been trying to do is get you to look at nature. Fat soluble vitamins, essential amino acids, essential fatty acids. Where is the essential sugar? Our liver makes and as much glucose as you need, and that is about 4 grams at all times. When it's not there, your liver will make it. Now, when you overconsume sugar and your brain takes over and your hormones are dysfunctioning, your body is panicking because it's quite possibly addicted. And it's hard to understand and compare sugar to heroin or an opiate or painkillers. But that is indeed what is happening. Your body is dependent on this. And now if we break down what sugar is, table sugar is half glucose, half fructose. The glucose the body can deal with. They're starting to figure out that fructose could be the major problem. Now, high fructose corn syrup is a man-made substance that is rampant in food. And I don't think we're supposed to be dealing with it in that amount. When we were growing up as a species, fruit was available for a few weeks a year, and we eat a shit ton of it while it was in season and ripe, it's a far stretch from this sugar genetic fruit that we have now. So, is there a place for it? It's arguable. But when you take out the fructose, there's a whole bunch of research now. Dr. Robert Lutzig from he's basically proven that fructose is the pathway to fatty liver and is just as toxic to your liver as alcohol. It works the same pathways except you don't get drunk. And it's hard to grasp. Imagine your kid drinking orange juice is the same as having a beer or worse. It's hard to grasp, I know. But I encourage you to do your own research into this. There's studies out there, there's science out there that shows conversion to fructose without fiber is devastating to your liver. Now, what do we mix alcohol with? Pop, like sodas. This is not good. Carbohydrates, beer. So, in excess, very damaging. Fruit juice is sugar without fiber, without any of your body's buffering to soften the blow. And that's just some things. Now, I have some friends that I work with that I'm trying to, kind of give them an example. They are vegetarian, but they do eat eggs and dairy, which is great. Now, I'm not going to push my bias on anybody. I will explain my philosophies and why I eat predominantly red meat with fat. But you got to work with what you got. And I'm trying to convince them to start reading labels, to start reading the packages of the food they're eating. And they're freaking out because sugar is everywhere. There's something like 70 different terms for sugar in a food label that's not sugar. And every time you eat more than 4 grams, it's arguably that it's toxic. Your body has to manage it. And over time, your body gets sick and tired of managing it. So that would lead to metabolic dysfunction. And everywhere is trying not to demonize these things. And they're trying to say that they're good for you. And all I'm urging you is to start thinking about this. Pasta breaks down to glucose in your body. It doesn't matter how fast. Bread, same thing. These things are sugar. Your body has to deal with them. They have to digest the lectins, and there is a whole bunch of anti-nutrients found in grains and seeds. So, thinking of that, maybe that's what's causing the damage to your gut. And taking a bunch of probiotics is not going to help you. Maybe there's arguments out there that have said that the right amount of protein in the quality and the amount will start to heal your gut. Look at it that way. You can't have a functioning, healthy gut without the foundation. Now, we're told that we're a new person in 3 to 5 years. Everything regenerates. So that's what it is. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You're not going to do it overnight. All these years of, we'll call it misinformation, disinformation. It's possible that we got it totally wrong. Now, the pride of the people, instead of admitting they're wrong and trying to change something, have gone overboard on fake food, junk food being better for us, processed food being healthy. How? How can it be better than the real thing? Look at nature. Look at animals in the zoo. The lion's not fat. They still eat the same amount. They still eat what their diet is, but they're not fat. They don't get to run on the savannah. Why? When you look at animals that are in nature, they're not overweight without any reason, without Mother Nature intending it. We are the only species that are overweight, malnourished, and sick because of it. What are we doing differently? What are we doing wrong? Do we think we're smarter than Mother Nature? And, I encourage you to start reading labels. Start understanding. For one, just because it says protein on the package, that measures crude nitrogen in the product. It is not the amino acid spectrum. It is not necessarily what you get. What you see is what you get. Understand that. Understand that you need to eat 30 grams plus of complete protein for it to start working, for it to start assimilating, protein synthesis, for all the muscle building. It's proven. But we get told not that it's just protein. You just need to eat protein. That all proteins are equal. They are not. They are not created equal. Then the nutritional labels: carbohydrates, added sugar, net carbs. If you take away the fiber, yes, it will lower the glycemic load in your stomach, but it's still sugar, still carbohydrates. Learn about it. Learn that the minerals that you're seeing on the package don't necessarily mean your gut can assimilate them because of the anti-nutrients and digestive issues. Your stomach, like if your stomach's not acidic, you're not going to be breaking down the protein. If you don't get enough chloride, your body can't produce hydrochloric acid. Salt. These things are there. We just have to put some rational thought into these practices. Now, I'm going to keep this short. I just wanted to do a little video, and I urge you to question for yourself. Start learning about your body. You only got one, and I wouldn't be saying this stuff if I didn't feel that I've achieved some things that I thought were impossible. And, I would argue to say that my body is going backwards in age. I feel better now than I did when I was 25. And there's the reason. So no study can tell me that's wrong. And, one Sean Baker says this all the time. He's like, look at your health now. That's a great sign of your health in the future. So you have to start thinking now. Think about it. The older you get, the more you have to be on this stuff. The younger guys, you're resilient. You're not going to feel it right away. But trust me, as you get older, this stuff starts to slow you down. So start making changes now. If I knew this stuff when I was 25, I can't even imagine how I'd feel right now. If you need some help, I'm here. I want to start coaching people and waking them up to understanding that it's very achievable, very sustainable. You don't have to count calories. You don't have to nickel and dime your way in a diet for a certain amount of time. I will be trying another 30-day beef, butter, bacon, and eggs because I'm trying to convince a friend of mine to try it, and I'll do it with them because I want to see what would happen again. But last time was a huge success. And that's it, you guys. And if I can help you, please get a hold of me and we can just have a talk. And I will, throw some things out there, and you can challenge it. I want you to challenge it. I want you to say that I'm wrong. Try something, and that's it. It's that simple. There's a lot of ways to do this. There's a lot of ways to wake up and start realizing that they're not on your side. And things they've said all our lives might not be true. And it's hard to swallow. But once you start learning this stuff, it's very hard to unlearn it. And it's very hard when you inject a little logic and some critical thinking into the nutrition space, how mixed up and how lopsided things are. All right, everybody, please, if you can, like and subscribe to the channel. Share this with somebody that might help. And I'm here to help you. If you need some help, if you want to just talk about some stuff that's on your mind, I'm here, and I enjoy talking about this stuff, and it's hopefully I can open up your eyes and shed some new light onto something that we've been told for decades that might not be true, that probably is very wrong. And it's all about logic mixed in with science and looking at the wide picture. All right, everybody, stay strong. Let's hope the sun comes out in Vancouver because I'm sick and tired of the rain. Take care.